Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bashir Khan welcoming you all from Continental Buffet, where there's a fundraising events going on at the present time. And the earthquake which has stricken the Nepal, a great disaster, over $1 billion damage, and thousands of people homeless. So please come forward, take the number on the screen, and be part of this generosity. And if you give $1, the government of Canada will match that donation dollar to dollar. So there is an opportunity for us to share this grief of this disaster and help out our brothers and sisters, regardless of their faith, creed, or belief. We are all human beings, we are brothers and sisters, and we should help at time like this. Right now, I'm going to speak to one of the organizers, and let's find out what they are planning and what are their expectations from you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the highlight of the coverage for the fundraising dinner for the earthquake victims of Nepal. I have with me two gentlemen who has the honor to organize this event today. On my right is Mr. Ali Khan, who is the owner of this wonderful place, Continental Buffet, and Mr.
Pashupati Pokhrel.
He is a key organizer and Nepali himself. What is your expectation today, that the dinner has been arranged at this beautiful facility? And how many people are coming, and what are your expectations?
We expecting around 300 people, but people are busy. Today is a Friday. इतना अभी तक तो इतना बता नहीं सकते कितने बंदे आ जाएंगे, लेकिन जितना भी आ जाएंगे उतने हम खुश हैं.
Now, it's a great disaster
Yes.
in the history of Nepal. Some reports says that there were $1 billion damage.
Yes.
Country like Nepal, being a small country and with a very hardship economy
Yes.
of the country, people are going to have a difficult time. Thousands of people are homeless, and they need to be rehabilitated, resettled, to build their homes. How much we are expecting from the general donors in this wonderful fundraising dinner we have?
Today we expecting more than $20,000. Whatever we collect is going. Who doesn't have the home? Who doesn't have anything, food? This is our goal. Mr. Ali Bhai give us the good chance to collect the money. Especially, I want to thanks to give him. That's our goal. Whatever we collect, even 10,000, 5,000, whatever we collect, even 1,000, we are happy to give them. Whatever they don't have anything else in the back home.
Thank you very much. Ali Bhai, as Mr. क्या नाम है इसका नाम? Huh?
Pashupati.
Mr. Pashupati just mentioned, Ali Bhai, that whatever amount is being raised through this fundraising dinner you and him have organized, we are very grateful that you have provided the opportunity for brother and sister watching this program to share this grief with our brothers and sisters of Nepal. Ali Bhai, now there is a facility that because of this fundraising, whatever the amount is being raised, which will be matched equally by the government of Canada.
I think we probably estimating almost about $30,000. We already raised over $10,000 with the ARFBAN's programs. Alhamdulillah, that we raised almost over 7,000. We already sold a lot of tickets, and inshallah, we're hoping today we're going to $1,000, which is 100% is going to go to the relief funds, and it involved to the Canadian government to receive another $30,000. So inshallah, we're looking at almost $60,000 we're going to be raised with this effort with the Pakistani community. And alhamdulillah, Pakistani community did a lot of effort so far. Again, we Wednesday on the radio program we raised over $7,000, which is a very good achievement. And we sold quite a bit of tickets, over 150 tickets. And we are hoping today there is also, the door people, they will come in. We publicize on the papers and all the electronic media. We are on it. So inshallah, we are hoping that'll be a good success and that'll be a good things. Whatever we're going to be raising with this event, inshallah, 100% is going to be goes to the relief funds, inshallah.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you heard Mr. Ali Khan, who is the owner of the Continental Banquet Facility, I will suggest and request you to support people like him. They have taken a big investment opportunity to facilitate this wonderful service for you. If they get stronger, they become more available to the community to support events like this. So please, if you want to be part of this generosity, Ali Bhai, there's a number or website?
Well, there is the bank account, any TD bank they can go to, and they look for the Nepal Earthquake Relief Fund account. I don't have the account number with me right now, but it can be found with our Continental Grand Buffet website. You see the event, then you can see there's the account number we have posted, and also it is posted on the local media with all our Pakistani newspapers. You can go to any TD bank and then deposit, $20, $10, any small amount. That's going to make a big difference to the Nepali earthquake victims.
Thank you very much. Keep up the good work. If you wish to be part of generosity, please take the website and telephone number and please donate generously, because your dollar is going to be matched by the government of Canada. And if you raise $50,000, $60,000, it will be matched equally, and that will help our Nepali brothers in a big way. What is your name, sir?
My name is Gopi Krishna Kafle. I'm the president of NCNC, Nepalese Community Network of Canada. That's it.
Now, today we have this fundraising event to raise funds for the victims of the earthquake disaster in Nepal. What is your expectation? What the message would you like to give it to the viewing audience?
Hopefully this our community people is coming later on. This is a big issue, and then we have to support our back home. Is now there is a so storm of trouble, and then this continuously coming after first shocks. Just a few days ago is coming another one, and then people is now living in outside the home. It's raining, no tent, no food, no water, no medicine. It's terrible. It's a very terrible condition. Whatever we can, we will do. Support our back home. Now we are doing every day, every weekend. We are going to meeting, collection donation here and there. First of all, we are trying to collect some cash money. So after that, we are going to collect some medicine, tent, there's clothes, rocks, whatever they need of first time.
Okay. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, as gentlemen mentioned, in any disaster, water and the health facility are very important and key element. And the Canadian DART team is there, and we are very proud this record of DART team. They purify water for the areas where there is no water for drink. DART also help to rehabilitate, rebuilding. So we are very proud that Canada is playing a role, and you can be part of this generosity. Take the number and website and support this earthquake victims fundraising dinner. More highlights right after these.
Hello, madam. Can you say something about this today's dinner?
Assalamualaikum. It's a very good cause, and everybody should participate in that, and hopefully that goes successful.
Fred would make it.
Yeah, it's too bad.
It's too bad. It's okay. This is not the end. It will continue on how many years. We'll see again. Somewhere we'll meet again.
Okay, Nepal had a big earthquake, so we are the Nepali people here, and so we are collaborating with a charity organization, and then so Pakistani community is also giving so much effort, and then also cooperating us to raise funds so that we can help our country. So thank you very much for everybody who are joining hands for a good cause. Thank you.
Tonight, as I was invited by a friend of mine, and for me, it's important that we support all the communities in Toronto. And when I heard about the earthquake in Nepal, my instant thought was for friends and their families in Nepal. And then it was about how can we support it and what can we do. So it makes sense to be supporting a community fundraiser that's being organized by the community, because they're going to know where the funds need to go on the ground. So I'm pleased to be here tonight to support, and knowing that that the money that's raised tonight will go to help people and will go directly to support on the ground where it's most needed.
Well, basically, we're here to pay remembrance to all of those who have lost their life during the devastating earthquake that happened in Nepal on April 25th. As well, we would like to come collectively in solidarity to try and raise as much funds as we can that is very much needed for relief efforts in Nepal. We've now passed the immediate phase, but we still have a lot of work to do. There is a lot of rebuilding that needs to be done, and for those we need to come together and bring towards as much funds as we can.
Hello, my name is Tariq Reshi. I'm a host of Voice of Mississauga Citizen. I'm here to raise a fund for Nepal community for this earthquake disaster that happened. We're encouraging all our friends and Canadian citizens to help raise fund to help needy people in Nepal. Thank you very much.
I'm very touched by the initiative taken by the owner, Mr. Ali, to invite everybody he knows to raise funds for the devastation in Nepal, for the earthquake in Nepal. I must say that it didn't occur to me that he would do so much for my country, and I appreciate it very much. Shukr.
I'm actually from the
Mount Everest region. Have been here for quite 25 or over 25 years. And growing there, we never expected such natural calamity of such magnitude would occur in Nepal. Although we have been away for so long, our heart is still connected to Nepal, and our families are there, and we are just absolutely destroyed and devastated and heartbroken by this tragedy. But we're equally encouraged and moved, like my friend says, by the other people around the world in the community, our friends, our neighbors, all reaching out, like the gentleman here, the owner. I don't know. I'm just finding out that he's sponsoring the entire event tonight, and we are most grateful and truly touched. Hopefully, we can all think this way and think globally. It's a human tragedy, and I'm very, very most grateful, and thank you for everybody who is here tonight to support the cause. And our people are truly suffering, especially in the rural villages in Nepal. They're without food, without shelter, without clothing, and without medical aids, and they are truly suffering. And I'm most grateful. Thank you, and thank you.
I'm here to support anyone who is trying to do their best to help the people of Nepal in this time. That's all.
I'm here today to support for the good cause, and especially I would like to thank Mr. Ali, who really took the initiative and encouraged us to organize this event and offer his whole open-hearted to support the people who are suffering in Nepal. And we are, like my other friends said, we are very touched and moved by the offer we received, and we are here to support and encourage, and we want to send this positive vibe to our people in Nepal so that they are struggling, they are facing the challenges, we know that, but our little help would also help them to be better for their future.
No immediate relative was affected. I'm fortunate in that way, but the scale of disaster there and what's happening is all heartbreaking.
Our relatives are fine there. Unfortunately, we had a disaster there, so in Nepal, and we're really shocked. And we are just here today, it's just for the fundraiser with the Pakistani communities. So we're thankful to them for the venues. That's all.
My immediate relatives are fine. However, the people of Nepal have been suffering from this devastating earthquake. People were not prepared, and the earthquake happened, and now more than 100,000 people have been suffering, and many people have been displaced. And today we are trying to collect some funds so that they could get at least some relief. But it is the small amount. But if we collect the amount from different sources in the same way, the needy people will get a lot amount of money, and it could relieve them a lot.
In that earthquake,
Look at the camera.
one of our relatives was victimized in the earthquake. We are very sorry, and a lot of people lost their lives. That is also one sorrow for us. We hope Nepal will come out of this big disaster. Thank you.
Our relative as well, they are fine, they're good. But the thing is that the neighbors or the friends, of course, they are the victims of the catastrophic event, this one which has just recently went through. And of course, I have been welled up because of that events. So, and we are grieving. It's a very grieving condition for us. Thank you.
रोशनी जो किसी के काम आए, एक दिया ऐसा भी रास्ते में जलाए रखिए। ये नेपाल में जो भी ये कुदरती आफत आई है, इससे सब वाकिफ़ हैं। और देखिए 10 सेकंड में वो जो मुल्क है जो तालीमी तौर पे इतनी तरक्की कर रहा था, 10 सेकंड ने उस मुल्क को 100 साल पीछे कर दिया है, जहाँ पे 1700 मदारिस का नामो निशान भी मिट गया है। اور یہ پاکستانی کمیونٹی کی طرف سے کانٹیننٹل گرینڈ بفے میں علی خان صاحب کے زیر اہتمام اس کا انتظام کیا گیا ہے. اور اگر آپ نے ابھی تک نیپال والوں کے لیے نہیں کیا ہے تو کم سے کم اپنی سلامتی، اپنے بچوں کی سلامتی کے لیے ضرور دیجیے، کیونکہ درد دل کے واسطے پیدا کیا انسان کو، ورنہ طاعت کے لیے کم نہ تھے کرو بیاں. بس یہی کہوں گا میں. اللہ آپ کو ہم کو اپنے حفظ و امان میں رکھے. آمین.
آپ یہاں پر سب لوگ جو اکٹھے ہوئے ہیں، خاص طور پہ پاکستانی یا نیپالی کمیونٹی کے لوگ ہیں یہاں پہ، تو ماشاءاللہ سے میں یہ دیکھ رہی ہوں کہ ان نیپال میں جو سانحہ اتنا بڑا المیہ حادثہ ہوا ہے، اسی کے ازالے کے لیے ہم سب یہاں پہ اکٹھے ہوئے ہیں، اور ہم سب کی یہی کوشش ہے کہ ان کے دکھ درد کو ہم بانٹ سکیں، اور جو کچھ بھی ہم پاکستانی کمیونٹی سے ہو سکے گا انشاءاللہ تعالی ہم لوگ اپنے طور پہ کریں گے. ان کے دکھ میں ہم برابر کے شریک ہیں. انشاءاللہ تعالی ان کو صبر جمیل عطا کرے اللہ میاں، اور ہم سب کو بھی اتنی توفیق عطا کرے کہ ہم ان کی ہر طرح سے ہیلپ کر سکیں.
ایسی چیزوں میں ہم لوگوں کو ضرور پارٹیسپیٹ کرنا چاہیے، اور دوسرے کی تکلیف کو محسوس کرنا چاہیے. اور یہ ایک اچھے طریقے سے آرگنائز کیا گیا ہے. لوگ یہاں پہ کافی زیادہ آئے ہیں، اور مجھے اچھا لگ رہا ہے کہ اس طریقے سے ہمیں ایک دوسرے کی تکلیف میں ان کے پین کو فیل کرنا چاہیے، اور اپنی پارٹیسپیشن اپنے حد تک جس حد تک ہو سکتی ہے ضرور کرنی چاہیے. تھینک یو سو مچ.
We're both executive members of the Canada-Nepal Medical Society, a charity that supports the training of paramedics in Nepal. We're collecting a special fund through online donations or in person for earthquake relief. We will be channeling that through other Canadian charitable organizations to the organization that we deem most worthy for providing rebuilding in rural communities, because we believe the real action in Nepal is not in the city but in the rural hills, where we're only now beginning to see the true devastation.
My name is Władysław Lizoń. I'm the Member of Parliament for Mississauga East Cooksville, and I am very happy that people do get organized and they get together to help those that are in need. They are far away. They are in Nepal. But this terrible earthquake, terrible disaster that did strike Kathmandu and Nepal, terrible thing. Lots of people wounded, people that need help, people need basic things. Therefore, it's so great that the community here in Canada is able to help, is able to get to put resources together, because they do need all help we can give them, and that's very important. And as probably people know, there are matching funds for donations that will go to help Nepal. Therefore, donations that people will make through Red Cross, through registered charities, will be matched by funds from the federal government. I'm so happy to be here. I'm waiting for Minister Kenney to arrive. But congratulations and thank you all from the bottom of my heart for supporting those in need, because that's what we should always do.
ایک انتہائی زیادہ شدید المیہ ہوا نیپال میں، اور اس نے 2005 کا جو پاکستان کا زلزلہ تھا اس کی یاد دلا دی، اور جس طرح پوری دنیا اکٹھی ہوئی تھی پاکستان کے زلزلے کے بعد ہماری مدد کرنے کو لیے، اسی جذبے سے ہماری کمیونٹی آج جمع ہوئی ہے. ہمارے پڑوسی ہیں نیپال، اور میں سب کی بہت بہت قدر کرتا ہوں کہ وہ اپنی مصروفیات کے باوجود یہاں تشریف لائے ہیں، اور ایک دینی فریضے کے ساتھ ساتھ ایک ہمارا اخلاقی اور پڑوسی ہونے کے ناطے ہم پہ فرض ہے کہ ہم اپنے नेपाली भाइयों की जितनी मदद हो सके कर सकें।
आज हम लोग यहाँ पर कॉन्टिनेंटल बैंकेट हॉल में सब लोग जमा हुए हैं फंड रेजिंग जो एक नासहानी वाक़या हुआ है काठमांडू नेपाल के अंदर जहाँ पे 10,000 से ज़्यादा लोगों की जानें ज़ाया हुए हैं। हम उनकी फ़ंड रेजिंग के लिए आज जमा हुए हैं और हम अपनी कौम से कैनेडियन, पाकिस्तानी, इंडियन, नेपाली सबसे दरख्वास्त करता हूँ कि इस जज़ाए खैर में दिल बढ़ कर हिस्सा लें और दिल खोल के चंदा दें ताकि गरीबों की और बेघर लावारिसों की इमदाद हो सके। शुक्रिया बहुत बहुत।
My name is Darshana Koirala and I'm a 16-year-old who is attending this fund relief dinner today because of what happened in Nepal. Now the earthquake of magnitude 7.8 really devastated the entire nation, and it's not an issue that can be overlooked. Thousands of people lost their homes and a lot have lost their families and other people who are close to them. I started a fundraiser in my school and we raised a lot of money together, and that just shows how this is a very important issue and we must all do something in order to help because there are people who need our help, and Nepal is a beautiful country and we can rise again. And I encourage everyone, whether young or old, any age, to really fundraise and to do anything they can to help because every little bit counts.
जैसा कि हम सब जानते हैं कि नेपाल में जो होनाक जो है ज़लज़ला आया और उसमें जो है हज़ारों जानों का जो है ज़या हुआ और कई सैकड़ों की तादाद में ज़ख्मी हुए और माली और जानी बहुत बड़ा नुकसान हुआ। तो आज कनाडा में मुकीम पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी आज इस छत तले जमा है और आज इस फंड रेजिंग डिनर में बड़ी तादाद में पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी के लोग शामिल हैं और मैं और मेरे साथ मेरे रफ़्क़ार MQM कनाडा के एक वफ़द की सूरत में जो हैं वो यहाँ मौजूद हैं और हम नेपाली फैमिलीज़ के साथ सॉलिडरिटी के हवाले से और उनकी हर मुमकिना मदद के हवाले से ना सिर्फ यहाँ मौजूद हैं बल्कि हमारी जो चैरिटेबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैं MQM सन चैरिटी और MQM के दीगर फलाही इदारे वो भी बढ़ चढ़ के ना सिर्फ माली उसमें बल्कि फ़िज़िकली हमारे रज़ाकार नेपाल शहर में काठमांडू में वहाँ मौजूद हैं और वो वहाँ पर जो है रफ़ाई कामों को बढ़ चढ़ के पूरा कर रहे हैं और वहाँ की आवाम के साथ जो है कदम से कदम मिलाकर उनकी आवाम की मदद कर रहे हैं। और हम सब चाहते हैं कि दीगर कम्युनिटी के लोग भी इसी तरह से नेपाली भाइयों के साथ मिलकर उनकी मदद करें और इस बड़े सानिए से उनको निकालने में उनकी मदद की जाए। यही हमारी अपील है तमाम कम्युनिटीज़ से कि वो बढ़ चढ़ के इसमें हिस्सा लें। शुक्रिया, थैंक यू।
जी अच्छा चलिए जी। ये दली आबिद मेरा नाम है और मेरा ताल्लुक़ पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी से है, कैनेडियन, और MQM कनाडा से मेरा ताल्लुक़ है। आज हम लोग यहाँ जमा हुए हैं ताकि नेपाल के ज़लज़ले के हवाले से उनसे सॉलिडरिटी कर सकें पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी की तरफ से और फंड रेजिंग कर सकें नेपाल के जो हमारे मुतासरीन हैं भाई हैं हमारे। और MQM कनाडा का वफ़द भी यहाँ इसीलिए आया है ख़ास तौर पर राब्ता कमेटी और अल्ताफ़ भाई की हिदायत पे कि हम नेपाल के जो मुतासरीन हैं उनके साथ हमदर्दी का इज़हार कर सकें और फंड रेजिंग में हिस्सा ले सकें। बहुत शुक्रिया।
Thank you so much. Great friend.
अली खान हाथ मिलाओ उससे बोलो अली खान।
Multiculturalism and Defense Minister, and I'm here with my friend and colleague Vladislav Lizan and other parliamentarians to support this wonderful fundraising initiative by members of our Nepalese and Pakistani communities. That's the best of Canadian multiculturalism. People from different backgrounds and faiths working together for humanity. And I believe that Global Medic, great organization, has something to do with this. We're supporting their good work in Nepal, and Child Haven International is the beneficiary of a lot of these funds. The Government of Canada will match every dollar raised and donated to a eligible registered charity for Nepalese earthquake relief, dollar for dollar. So if you give $100 to Child Haven International, Global Medic, or any of the other good charities, the Government of Canada will put in $100 as well. This is an easy way to double your money and help save lives. We're going to have to rebuild much of Nepal, and we Canadians have the blessing of living in this amazingly prosperous country. Let's dig deep and help out those in need. Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
It's been a long time.
Judge, how's it going, brother? Assalamu alaikum. Good to see you. How are you?
We met at HCSC, you said I look too young for all those charities.
Ice hockey or field hockey? Good boy. How are you, sir? Namaste.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Marigold, and I will be guiding you through tonight's program. First of all, I'd like to introduce our chief guest for today, Ministry of National Defense and Multiculturalism, Jason Kenney. Thank you very much for being here. As all of you know, as all of you here are aware, on Saturday, April 25th, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake erupted in the Himalayan kingdom of Nepal, creating havoc, destruction, and irreplaceable loss. To date, the death toll from this devastating tragedy has reached over 7,900 people and has injured more than 16,000 people. More than 300,000 buildings have been fully destroyed, and 270,000 more buildings have been partly destroyed. Today, 14 days later, we gather here in unity and solidarity and collectively try to spread awareness and raise desperately needed funds for immediate relief and long-term rebuilding efforts in Nepal. On behalf of the organizers and representatives present from all the Nepalese and Pakistani communities, and also from Ali Khan, our most gracious venue host and sponsor, we would like to thank you all for being here tonight and coming through to support Nepal through its time of need. Firstly, we would like to thank again Mr. Ali Khan for making this event possible by bearing all the food and venue-related costs. Mr. Ali Khan standing behind there. Thank you once again. Secondly, we would also like to welcome and thank all of the distinguished guests who have joined us tonight despite the extremely short time frame that we have had to organize such an event. We will begin the evening by the playing of the Canadian National Anthem. For this, I would like to ask you all to please rise. Seated. We will begin the evening by having a candlelight vigil. With this, we pay remembrance to the lives that have been lost. This vigil has been designed to be a somber moment of thoughts and prayers for the departed souls and bereaved families for internal peace and to bring forward strength to bear their irreplaceable losses respectively. The candlelight vigil will be lit and visuals of the aftermath of the earthquake will be shown. We will be preceded by a few moments of silence and prayers. I would like to call upon the chief guest, the Minister of National Defense, Jason Kenney, to please do the honors. I would like to ask everybody to please stand as we have a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated. To begin, I would like to call upon Mr. Sanjeev Rizal, who is a Nepalese community worker, social worker, to give us our welcome speech.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar and Kushamdeed. Minister of National Defense, Honorable Jason Kenney, Honorable Consular General of Pakistan, Asghar Golo, Pakistani community leaders, Canada-Nepal Foundation team and President, Rahul Singh, Global Medic Director of Charity. Thank you for coming in this moment of sadness that the Nepalese community is going through. And also all members of the Pakistani community and the Nepalese community, thank you very much for coming over here. And I also would like to thank the Nepalese community leaders who have made their effort in such a day where 2-3 events are being launched to come over here and help us. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Ali Khan and the leaders and the Pakistani community to come and support us here. You have driven such a long distance, and that makes us feel that we are doing the right cause. Given the devastation in Nepal, we all have come together here for this fundraising dinner where 100% of the proceeds will be going to Nepal. And for this evening, we don't have anything special planned. We had a moment of silence. We're having a vigil, and then we will be showing some clips of the devastation that has taken place in Nepal. And I request the music and the pictures might be a little disturbing to the kids, so please see that your kids don't get frightened. Now, in Nepal, as of today, the death toll is 8,000, injured 18,000, affected people 8 million, displaced 2.8 million, need food assistance 3.5 million, 1.7 million children have been affected in the hard-hit areas by the earthquake. And these statistics itself, they speak that the devastation has gone far too long. And we need to come together as human beings to put together funds to go to Nepal and help in terms of relief, rehabilitation, and rebuilding of Nepal. And finally, before I give back this podium to the MC, Marigold Bhandari, I would again like to thank the dignitaries who have showed over here and helped us in this moment. Honorable Jason Kenney, Honorable Consular General of Pakistan, Asghar Golo, Pakistani community leaders and the community itself, Nepalese community leaders, Canada-Nepal Foundation team and President, Rahul Singh, Global Medic Director of Charity. Thank you very much, and thank you for supporting us in this very tragic moment.
Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to just call upon Ali Khan, our gracious restaurant sponsor, to just say a few words.
Good evening, respected guests and distinguished guests. I would like to welcome you to Continental Grand Buffet, and especially thanks for Honorable Jason Kenney for a short notice. He made us here, and Mr. Honorable Pakistan Consul General Asghar Golu Saab, and Leon, everybody is coming in a short time, because we didn't have much time to all the informations, but we thought we just sooner the better, because people in Nepal, they do need our help. As a Pakistani abroad community, we thought, is Pakistani is going to reach out to help our Nepali brothers, and we did a good job collecting quite a bit of fundraise, and I'd like to thank our media, electronic media, print media, and radio media. We had the fundraising last Wednesday. We did collect over $7,000 within 2 hours. And that is including Pakistani and the other communities involved in there. And today we have sold quite a bit of tickets. So alhamdulillah, we raised over $10,000 so far. But with this, again, on behalf of my family, my staff, and Pakistani community, it is a very deeply sorrow that there is a greatest loss in Nepal. So may Allah, God bless all their souls. They left, and all Nepalese left behind, the loved ones. It's going to be mercy on them too. Thank you very much. Once again, Continental have done what thought, as a community, we need to do things. So inshallah, everything is it's all 100%. We offered our venue and menu. So after this, inshallah, you will enjoy the meal also. And please donate. When you bought the ticket, it's not just the stop there. We also open up the TD account. So anybody who wants to do it after, now, later, just check out our websites and just give out $20, $10. It's going to make a big difference. Thank you very much.
I would just like to say thank you once again to everybody here from the Pakistani community. We really do need your support, and I'm glad to know that we do have your support. Being a Nepalese youth living here abroad in Canada, it's great to see that since this tragedy has occurred, everybody from all different communities has come together, and we've all joined together for such a great cause. And I do hope that we'll be able to continue this relationship for many, many, many years to come. Next, we will be having the slideshow. It is a before and after of the earthquake. As Sanjeev Uncle did mention, please do there is viewer discretion advised. There are some disturbing images and sounds that will be produced. So please just be advised of that.
Please help and donate to rebuild Nepal. You can donate online on NRM Canada's website, Red Cross, World Vision, and many more. You can also contact Nepali Embassy in Canada or any present Nepali community here. Your smallest help will make a huge difference in rebuilding Nepal.
The video speaks for itself. I myself haven't been watching much videos just because I can't bear to watch them. But the message in the video is very strong, so please do donate. Next, I would like to call upon someone who has been supporting the Nepali community since even before the earthquake happened. And that is our honorable chief guest, Jason Kenney. He's always been supporting our Nepali community, and for that, we respect you and thank you.
Namaskar, Assalamu alaikum. Bonsoir, good evening. Dear friends, it's an honor to be with you here tonight on behalf of the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Stephen Harper, and the Government of Canada, and all of my colleagues, including the Member of Parliament for Mississauga East, Cooksville, Mr. Vladislav Lizon. Let me begin by adding my words of appreciation. That's fine. Thanks. By adding my words of appreciation to Mr. Ali Khan for his wonderful sponsorship, generosity, and hospitality tonight. Please give Mr. Khan another round of applause. And let me also begin in
words of heartfelt condolences to the families and loved ones of all of those who perished last week in Nepal. To pray for the recovery of those who were injured and who remain homeless. To pray for the children who have been orphaned and those who have lost their loved ones. May eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord, and may light perpetual shine upon them. I think this is a beautiful gathering, a profoundly Canadian evening, which is why I made a special effort at short notice to come and contribute myself personally to encourage and thank you, all of you, for your generosity, your solidarity, your charity. You know, charity comes from the Latin root caritas, which means self-giving love. Not superficial love, but giving something of yourself. And that is clearly what you are doing here today. And Mother Teresa of Calcutta, Saint Teresa of Calcutta, reminded us that the word compassion actually comes from the root to suffer with. Passion is to suffer in Latin, and come to suffer with. And tonight, in some small way, we seek to suffer with those who have undergone such terrible devastation in Nepal in this past week. I think this is a quintessentially Canadian evening because here we have members of the Canadian Pakistani community, most of whom are Muslim, reaching out to the Canadian Nepalese community, most of whom are Hindu. Different cultures, different faiths, different countries of origin, different views on the world, but all of them here, proud Canadians, all of them human beings, all of them in solidarity with those who are suffering. And I know there are members of many other communities from different backgrounds here as well. Just for example, my friend Mr. Lizon with a Polish background. And so we put aside our own particular ethnic or origins or faith commitments to come together in solidarity as Canadians, as we always do, because we know that this land, this wonderful, prosperous country, has given us, our families, unlimited opportunity and great prosperity. And we know that with that opportunity, that freedom, that prosperity, comes certain obligations. The obligation to share with others who are less fortunate. And that is precisely what you are doing here tonight. For that, I profoundly thank you. I can assure you that the Government of Canada is supporting what you're doing here tonight. In fact, I can reconfirm that for every dollar you contribute to Nepalese earthquake relief, to a registered Canadian charity that will be delivering programming on the ground in Nepal, for every such dollar, the Government of Canada will match your contribution. So tonight we raise twice as much as you give. So if you contribute $100, that will equal $200 coming from Canada to Nepal. Or if you contribute $1,000, $2,000 will go from Canada to Nepal. So give generously. Give twice as much as you were thinking of, and then they'll get 4 times as much money. The math is great. And I can also, perhaps I should inform you about other actions being taken by the Government of Canada. First of all, I can, as Minister of National Defence, within hours of hearing about the earthquake, I immediately instructed our military to begin preparing deployment of the Canadian Armed Forces humanitarian and disaster assistance response teams to Nepal. We did not yet know the extent of the devastation, but I could tell from the earliest media reports that it was profound. Now, I must tell you the truth. In the past, I mean, government bureaucracies like to be careful and prudent and incremental in the measures they take, and there's good reasons for that. And in the past, sometimes we've waited for days, even weeks, before deploying resources to major international disaster zones, if at all. But in this case, we moved, I think, faster in response to this disaster than any other in our modern history. And I can tell you that within 48 hours, the Royal Canadian Air Force C-17 Globemasters were arriving at Kathmandu with emergency humanitarian supplies, and the Canadian flag was being flown in Nepal. In your name, in your name. And so since that time, we have deployed several flights of these Royal Canadian Air Force Globemasters. These are enormous, some of the largest airplanes in the world, and they have brought with them several dozen Canadian Armed Forces personnel who make up part of our disaster assistance response team. They have brought with them life-saving equipment, light engineering equipment, and vehicles, and camping equipment, and a mobile hospital, and first aid and medical equipment, drugs, and much needed pharmaceuticals, and clean water purification systems, emergency food supplies, and other equipment, tons of it being delivered to Nepal. And in the process, we've been able to repatriate Canadians and other foreign nationals who were in Nepal stranded by the earthquake back to India so they could return to their homelands. This has been a remarkably effective response by Canada. In addition to that, we announced within 18 hours of the earthquake an initial humanitarian contribution from the Government of Canada of $5 million. Now you might say, given the scale of this devastation, that $5 million doesn't seem like a great deal, but just so you will understand, that's an initial contribution. Those initial contributions are to get the wheels turning for immediate response. And by way of comparison, the United States, which is 10 times our size, I think contributed $1 million on that first canvas. So I'll make a prediction tonight. Based on recent experience, based on how Canadians responded to Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, based on how they responded to the earthquake in Haiti 5 years ago, based on how they responded to the tsunami in Southeast Asia 10 years ago, based on our government's matching of funds, and based on what I know will be very further generous additional Government of Canada contributions, I think I can safely predict that Canada will be by far one of the largest donor countries and almost certainly the largest per capita donor to help the people of Nepal during their time of need. And that's why you're here tonight. That's why you're here tonight. I can say that with confidence because there are banquet halls and manders and mosques and gurdwaras and community centers and school auditoria across the country with people like you tonight, this week, and we hope in the weeks to come, making sacrificial gifts to help these poor people. So what you're doing tonight here matters. It's like a snowball going down a hill. It just keeps getting momentum and gets bigger and bigger. And that's the momentum we are generating, a momentum of love, compassion for those who have been so severely affected. I can tell you more specifically that our Canadian Armed Forces Disaster Assistance Response Team has been deployed to Sumitra in the Sherikot region of Nepal, which is on the highway west, I believe about 150 kilometers east of Kathmandu. And as you know, much of the infrastructure, public infrastructure, has been devastated, as well as, of course, homes and private infrastructure. And so you can't carry water or food or building equipment to help people build new homes as long as the highways are, for example, are in serious disrepair. So our DART team is setting up water purification systems, helping people get in emergency food supplies, deal with the initial aftermath of the earthquake, but also they're beginning to assist the Nepalese authorities with some reconstruction of the public infrastructure, including the roads. Now, Nepal could not be further away from Canada. I mean, it's the most remote place in the world to get to from Canada. Almost exactly on the other side of the globe and up in the Himalayas. And so there are practical limits to how much of a Canadian presence that we can project. And indeed, the Nepalese government has essentially asked, they've received such a generous and overwhelming response from the international community, from India and other countries, that they've essentially asked donor countries like Canada to say that's enough. We have enough support. Now, I hope they're right about that. But we've made that contribution. We will be there for some time to come with our military. And then the charities who are operating in the region will be doing hugely important work in a variety of ways. As some charities were mentioned in the video, we just encourage you to give to whatever one you think has a good reputation and is actually able to deliver programs on the ground in Nepal. I see I've just made a contribution to Child Haven International, founded by the Cappuccino family of Ontario, that have done wonderful work with orphanages and with homeless children in South Asia. My friend Rahul Singh is here. He represents a brilliant charitable organization, Global Medic. In fact, Rahul was just with me and the Prime Minister in Iraq, where he was delivering, helping us to deliver support to the internally displaced religious minorities of Iraq who have been attacked and persecuted by ISIL. And I can tell you, I was at Global Medic's headquarters with Rahul and with the High Commissioner for Nepal within 36 hours of the earthquake, and he was already preparing to deploy critical emergency equipment, including Canadian-made drones. And indeed, I can tell you that of the first $5 million contributed by the Government of Canada, Global Medic applied for and received $600,000. So you have right here innovative Canadian, an example of innovative Canadians using Canadian technology and know-how to respond immediately to the other side of the world and doing it with incredible efficiency. So there are, whether it's Global Medic or Child Haven or any of the other organizations, we encourage you to make thoughtful donations, do your research, make sure you're confident in the organizations to whom you contribute. Finally, I just want to once more to say how fortunate we are to live in this country where something like this can happen. You know, there are parts of this world where you wouldn't very frequently find members of the Hindu and Muslim communities coming together in this kind of way. But in Canada, that's possible. This is what Canada is all about. So this event, this initiative has great meaning to me, not just because of the charity and the practical support that we will be giving, but because of the symbolic coming together of different communities, different faiths, all as human beings and all as Canadians. So may God bless you, may God bless Canada, and may God bless the people of Nepal during their hour of need. Shukran, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to let everybody know that we just do have a few more speakers, so please do bear with us. Next, I'd like to call upon the Honorary Pakistani Consul General, Mr. Ashkar Aligolo, sorry if I said it wrong, to say a few words.
Honorable Minister, Honorable MPP, my brother Ali Khan, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Today's event and what devastation we saw in the video reminded us of the devastation which took place in Pakistan about 10 years back. The scale of the Nepalese destruction in Pakistan was 10 times, and the number of dead in Pakistan were more than 80,000. But what comforted us was the response as I see today. Within hours, I was in Tokyo at that time. I think within 15 minutes of this earthquake, the volunteers keep running to our embassy and they saw we need visa. And even honestly speaking, I didn't know that earthquake has happened in Pakistan. When it was, I think, a holiday, we were preparing for a visit, and they said that there's a devastated and there's a large-scale destruction in Pakistan. And within hours, all over the world, and we are very grateful to the Canadian government as well, the way they responded and they came and they helped us. And Honorable Minister, you are right. This gathering today is a reflection of the true Canadian culture of multiculturalism, pluralism. And based on this premise, in fact, about 1 year back, we initiated this program of reaching out to other communities. I'm very happy to tell you, I told you earlier, we have had this kind of event with our Indian community. We have a joint event with Sri Lankan, we have joint event with Turkish, we have joint event with Serbian community. And we are reaching out and we are bringing all communities together to bury whatever differences we have back home, to live as all one community in this great country. And I assure you that the coming generations will love each other. There will not be any kind of misgivings or whatever we have back home. And this living in Canada will become an example to our part of the land, that if all communities and all religions can live in peace and harmony in Canada, why can't they live there as well? Coming back to, again, it's a great initiative, and I assure you it's just a beginning, and our community is ready to respond back the debt of gratitude that we received during our hour of need. And I'm grateful to you, sir, for sparing time, and our honorable MPP and all distinguished ladies and gentlemen. May Nepal is our great neighbor, our friend. We have lived together for about thousands of years, and it's our moral duty to help our friends, our brethren, and we are with you. Thank you very much.
On behalf of all the Nepalese here, I would like to thank the Consul General and the Minister, and I would like to tell you that your leadership and your support is admired, and truly it is shown to all of us, and we will follow your lead, because with such leadership, this is how we get together, and this is how we preserve and maintain Canadian, Nepalese, and Pakistani culture. Next, I would like to call upon Rahul Singh. Now, I did tell Rahul that I was going to do a brief bio, and he said, no, don't do that. I'm not really anybody. But I just want to say that I have been following Rahul since the earthquake started, and I truly admire everything that you have been doing for Nepal and to support it, and not just Nepal, but in any term of disaster. I've heard that you are the person to go to. So I would like to thank you so much. For those who don't know, Rahul is a Toronto paramedic, and he's the founder and executive director of Global Medic, which is a humanitarian relief organization that provides disaster relief in areas affected by natural disaster or complex emergencies. Since founding Global Medic, he has led 30 international missions with several organizations. And just one really cool thing that I found was that in 2010, Time listed him as one of the 100 world's most influential people. I'd like to welcome Rahul to the stage.
Come adjust the mic. There we go. Thank you very much for the very kind introduction. In 1997, I lived in Nepal. I volunteered in the Lamjung district at the Riverside Hospital in a town called Sholi Bazaar. And it was while volunteering in Nepal that I had my moment where I decided what I wanted to do with my life, and that was to start Global Medic. And I'm very much afraid of reaching out and asking about that village, because it was 12 kilometers away from the epicenter of this quake. And tragically, as a paramedic, you often know the outcome of a tough call. So you don't always want to ask how things turn out, and that's the position that I find myself in now. So Nepal is very dear to me. I mean, it's very much in my heart, and I wanted to tell you what we are doing in Nepal right now. There's 4 phases, there's 4 aspects to our work. We have Canadians on the ground. I'm happy to say that we arrived just before the DART team. I'm also happy to say the DART team was kind enough to support us and help us get some critical gear in. And one of the phases of the work that we're doing is we've got unmanned aerial vehicles, drones if you will, flying around taking pictures, and those pictures help us to analyze imagery and produce maps, so we know we don't have to drive down a road for 5 hours with an aid convoy and find out that road can't be passed and we have to come back 5 hours. If we fly over a school and see 400 people in the courtyard seeking refuge, we know not to send one truck and we send 3 or 4, and we don't show up with 6 trucks to a school housing 20. If you call 911 in this city and you say, I need help, we don't know what help to send you until we get that information. And when we have that information, we know exactly what help to send so we don't waste the resource. Nepal, I think we can all agree, has made a global call for 911 and as a result of what happened 2 weeks ago. These UAVs will be that information to help us get the right assistance to the right people at the right moment. So that's an excellent program. It's an innovative Canadian program. It's innovative Canadian technology. The Technology House donated the drones. My people are flying them, as volunteers. Mr. Kenney's government has funded some of the operations. So that is Canada responding in one way. The second thing we're doing, and it's probably the most important thing that we're doing, is we have installed 6 large-scale water purification systems in schools, clinics, shelters to get people clean water. You think of this. If you need a clean drink of water right now to keep your children healthy, you have to reach about 2 feet. To someone in Nepal, water is life. We all know that cholera is endemic to Nepal. And we all know the number of people that die from cholera in Nepal every single year. But what we fail to understand is now we're taking 2 million people that had homes and had shelters and we're putting them in tents, if they're lucky, at the side of a river in a cholera zone. And the number of people that will die from cholera, if we don't get them clean water, will make this earthquake look like it just didn't even happen. So that's the key right now. The dead, we can't speak for them. We can only honor them by doing things to save their families' lives. And getting folks clean water is the way to do that. With Canadian government support, we've got those units over. 2,000 families now are receiving household water purification units. These are just basic ceramic filters. Again, a Canadian innovation. A company who sells products here that you can go buy in Canadian Tire said, listen, we will lower our profit margin to give these to you cheaper. My personnel, paramedics, police officers, firefighters, lifesavers, volunteering their time, handing them to families. Canadian government funding this. Another Canadian initiative saving lives. The third thing that we're doing is we've provided a critical infrastructure tenting program. 30 gigantic tents are already there. This morning, our team set up 6 tents in the Pediatric Children's Hospital just outside Kathmandu. So that hospital, which was rendered absolutely useless because of this quake, meaning children couldn't be treated, those legs couldn't be set, fractures could not be treated at all of a sudden, there's now a place for them to be surgically operated on, treated by doctors. That is an innovation. That's a response. That's a 911 response brought to an international level. That's also funded partially by the Canadian government. This morning, we were lucky. We got another grant, another $100,000. We put 10 more on an aircraft today. It's wheels up at 22:35. It'll arrive in about 30 hours, and I hope that within 2 days of that, more units are up. Every day, every area we work, units go up. They replace clinics, they replace schools, they replace hospitals, because this is how you deliver aid in a large-scale catastrophe. The last point of our delivery is some of those tents will go to create child-friendly spaces. So kids get to be kids. We can deliver some psychosocial services. More importantly, mom and dad know their kids are safe so they can go out and get the things that mom and dad need to get in order to get through this next phase of their life. We've been very lucky that we've gotten $600,000 from the Canadian government. Our donors, our supporters have brought in another $400,000. So we're just past the $1 million mark, which is fantastic. But this is a drop in the bucket. There are 2.6 million people that are displaced. That's 2.6 million people that we can keep alive. And I guarantee you this will be out of the media in the next day or two. We will forget Nepal globally. And that would be a tragedy. That would be a worse tragedy than this earthquake. So what you do today by coming together and crossing the grievances of the great divides of that region, right? And forgetting all that and coming together to just raise money. This is the right thing, and this is very Canadian. And I'm very proud to run a Canadian agency that is Canadian innovation, where Canadians are on the ground delivering aid that was raised by Canadians, whether it be through your tax base or donations like this. And I will tell you this, that It is their moment of need. We are there right now. We are delivering assistance, and together, we can't forget them. So thank you for your support.
Thank you so much. As Rahul was mentioning, actually each day I've been reading the newspaper and pretty much Nepal's news has already been non-existent in the media. So as he mentioned, we do need to remember that today's ticket is not just a way of donating. If you'd like to donate, please do donate some more. You can do so as mentioned by the minister, as mentioned by Rahul, to any of the organizations. Even just $20 will just contribute so much to Nepal. So please do donate. Next, I'd like to call upon Farhat Sujat, and he's here from the Pakistani community to say a few words.
औज़ुबिल्लाहिमिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। आप तमाम कम्युनिटी के लोगों को मैं तहे दिल से खुश आमदीद कहती हूँ और ख़ास तौर पे पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी के लिए मैं ये कहूँ कि उनमें इतना जज्बा है, इन दुखी लोगों के साथ हम बराबर शरीक हैं। अल्लाह का लाख लाख शुक्र है कि कनाडा जैसे मुल्क में हम बड़ी आराम की ज़िंदगी गुजार रहे हैं, लेकिन जब भी कोई मुसीबत हमारे पर आता है, जब भी हमारे अपने पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी आगे इस सब चीज़ों में होती है, और ये इस बात की गवाह है कि आज भी जब नेपाल में अर्थक्वेक जैसा अलमिया हुआ तो इस अलमिया में पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी और दूसरे लोग भी बढ़ चढ़ के हिस्सा लेते रहे हैं। आप सब हम यहाँ पे इकट्ठे इसलिए हुए हैं कि इस दुख की घड़ी में हम सब ख़ास तौर पे पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी और दूसरे लोग नेपाली भाई की दुख में शरीक हो सकें। रोशनी जो किसी के काम आए, रोशनी जो किसी के काम आए, एक दिया ऐसा भी रास्ते में जलाए रखना। इंसान किसी भी मज़हब या फ़र्क़े से ताल्लुक़ रखता हो, वो इंसान उसी वक्त इंसानियत की मेराज तक पहुँचता है जब वो किसी की मदद कर रहा हो। रहम कर खुदाया एहसान हम पे कर दे, रहम कर खुदाया एहसान हम पे कर दे, हम गुनहगार आसियों के गुनाह माफ़ कर दे। आज आप लोग जो कुछ भी अल्लाह की राह में देंगे, यकीनन इससे कहीं ज़्यादा अल्लाह ताला आपको नवाजेगा। इस बात का यकीन हम सबको है। आइए हम सब मिलकर इन दुखी लोगों के दुख का अजाला करें। दर्द दिल के वास्ते पैदा किया इंसान को, दर्द दिल के वास्ते पैदा किया इंसान को, वरना तात के लिए कुछ कम ना थे करूँ बयां। आखिर में आप सब मेहमानों का बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करूँगी, ख़ास कर अली भाई और पाकिस्तानी कैनेडियन कम्युनिटी के तमाम लोग और नेपाली भाई जो यहाँ पर बहुत दुख और दर्द के साथ शरीक होने के लिए आए हैं। आप सबका बहुत शुक्रिया और आप सबके दुख में हम सब शरीक हैं। अली भाई का ख़ास तौर पे मैं बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करूँगी कि उन्होंने बहुत ऑर्गेनाइज वे में हम सबको इकट्ठा किया। अल्लाह ताला आप सबको इसका अजर ज़रूर देगा इंशाअल्लाह ताला। बहुत शुक्रिया।
Thank you for your very heartfelt message. Next, before we finish up the program with a thank you presentation, I would just like to say the Honorary Consul General, the Ambassador to Canada from Nepal, Kali Prasad Pokhrel, was unable to be here tonight, but he has sent us a message. I'm just going to read it to you now. Dear organizers, dignitaries, friends of Nepal, I am very happy to know that the Nepalese diaspora, in coordination with friends and well-wishers of Nepal, has organized this evening's fundraising event benefiting the victims of recent devastating earthquake in Nepal. Thank you for inviting me to join, but due to my pre-engagement, I am unable to attend the event. We are all aware that the destruction and damage to life and property of the devastating earthquake in Nepal is tremendous. As of today, the total number of deaths has risen to 7,900. Number of injured has reached 17,803, with around 600,000 houses have been destroyed or damaged. As the recovery and cleanup continue, the death toll may rise. Considering the urgency of the situation, the government of Nepal has set up the Prime Minister Disaster Relief Fund with the objective of providing the immediate rescue and direct relief of the victims. The Vice Chairman of Nepal's National Planning Commission is the chair of this fund, including 8 government secretaries of various government ministries as its members. The money deposited in the fund can be seen by people from around the globe by simply logging on to that account. The expenses from this fund is audited by the Auditor General Office, a constitutional body of Nepal. I am sure that the Nepalese diaspora is pretty much aware about this fund by now. I thank you all for joining this support evening, and I wish you success of the event. Thank you. Kali Prasad Pokhriel. To end off the evening, we do have a thank you presentation from a 10-year-old Nepalese boy. I've known him since he was very little, and 10 years old seems like nothing now because I'm 10 years older than him, much older than him. So just watching him grow up is just amazing, and to have him speak today about something so tragic at such a young age is just amazing to see. I would like to call upon Evam Nupane for our concluding remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold it up. These are the Nepalese organizations that are working day and night collecting funds for Nepal. Could you hold it up, please? Put it up. The leaders of these organizations have been working day and night to collect funds for Nepal and to help their Nepalese brothers and sisters. So we thank them very much for their contribution and their effort in this disaster. Thank you very much. And now the note will be read by a 10-year boy called Evam Nupane.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I, Evam Nupane, on behalf of the Nepali community of the Greater Toronto Area, would like to thank everyone who came to this fundraising event. We are happy that tonight's fundraising for the earthquake victims at Continental Buffet Restaurant here in Mississauga has been a great success. We, the Nepali community of the GTA, are forever thankful to Mr. Ali Khan, who gave us the opportunity to raise funds for the earthquake victims. Mr. Ali made available this dining facility and the dinner at his own expense. Let's give him a big round of applause. We would like to thank our chief guest, Federal Minister Honorable Mr. Jason Kenney, and Pakistani Consul General Mr. Asghar Ali. We are truly thankful to our Pakistani community friends, Canadian friends, and members from other communities who came out in numbers to make this fundraiser successful. We would like to extend our thanks to a large number of volunteers who worked painstakingly to make this event successful. We are also thankful to all individuals and Nepali organizations such as NTVC, NCCS, NCNC, NCWA, NJAC, United Sherpa Association, Magar Sangh, NRN Canada, NCHC, TNFF, Concern Nepal, Nuwa Gothi, NSS, and sorry if I pronounced this wrong, Jan Sampark, Samitis, who helped spread the word and sell tickets. These Nepali organizations and volunteers did amazing work within the short window of time to plan and implement the fundraising event. We would also like to thank Pakistani radio channel AM 770, who helped us raise more than $6,000 within a 2-hour period last Wednesday. We're also thankful to Child Heaven for helping us with the providing tax receipt for the donations that were made at this event and the federal government for the matching fund dollar to dollar. Last but not least, a big kudos and thanks goes to our event coordinator, Pashupati Pokhrel, whose hard work and dedication made the event successful. Mr. Pokhrel was excellent and instrumental. Finally, on behalf of the Nepali community, I'd like to thank you all once again for coming to this event and making it successful. This brings to an end the formal part of the evening. Please have your dinner and keep the victims of the earthquake in Nepal in your thoughts and prayers. May departed souls rest in peace. God bless Nepal. God bless everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Avram. That was awesome. Dinner will be served, but we do ask kindly that everybody just go one table at a time to avoid chaos. Well, we don't need chaos here. We already have enough chaos in Nepal. So I kindly ask one table at a time. 5 tables one time? Okay, so there we go. The chaos will be averted. 5 tables at a time. So maybe if we start at this side of the room.
You know, we are giving you highlights from this fundraising event for the earthquake victims in Nepal. With me, I have the gentleman whom I call a friend, a longest-serving Minister of Citizenship and Immigration. Now he's a Minister of National Defense for Canada, Mr. Jason Kenney, Honorable Jason Kenney. Honorable Minister, you know, tonight you have seen that the effort from a very small group of people and trying to raise $30,000 target, and we'll have the matching fund from the federal government, of course, $60,000 we are hoping. What is your message to the community who's watching this program in terms of reaching out those brothers and sisters in Nepal?
Message of gratitude for their generosity. You know, Canada is a home to people from every corner of the world who come here to seek opportunity and prosperity, and many of them get that. We have an obligation to give back to those in need, like the people of Nepal. Since the terrible earthquake, Canadians were very generous in their response to the Pakistani earthquake back in 2005. And that's why it's so wonderful to see the Pakistani-Canadian community passing it on, giving it on to people in Nepal, to see the Hindu and Muslim communities, the Nepalese and Pakistani communities, all Canadians coming together. And it's wonderful as well that their private contributions, as you mentioned, will be matched by the Government of Canada. So a $100 contribution to a charity working to help the Nepalese will equal $200. So it's a wonderful Canadian story. So again, we thank people for their generosity, encourage them to be generous in giving everything they can to help rebuild these people's lives.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Defense for the Government of Canada, Honorable Jason Kenney. More highlights coming up right after this word.